Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more.
Join me on Sundays every 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Voice of the People TV.
Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Good evening and welcome to Political Lens on Voice of the People Television, VOP. We are transmitting on Metro's SLTV channel 202. I am Chukuma Okoro. The big story is this evening, PDP governors distance themselves from Atiku mega coalition as Ibas asks PA to return 300 million naira received from suspended governor Fubara. Now let's bring in our guests. We are joined by Comrade Collins Amadin. Now, Comrade Amadin is a political affairs analyst as well as APC chieftain, and he joins us from our Benin outstation. Good evening to you, Barrister Collins Amadin, and thanks for coming to Political Lens.
Good evening, my dear Barrister.
Okay, Comrade, you need to unmute yourself so that I can get your audio feed. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, Comrade Amadin, can you hear me now?
I can. But can you hear?
Okay, good evening, Comrade Collins Amadin.
Good evening. Good
Oh.
evening. I can hear you.
Okay, how are you? How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. And how are you?
Okay, all right then. Now, we'll also be joined by Barrister Asim Adams. Barrister Adams is a practicing lawyer as well as a political affairs analyst, and he joins us from Port Harcourt. Gentlemen, good evening and thanks for coming to Political Lens. Now, let's get into it. Governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, yesterday unanimously resolved to join any coalition or merger as the 2027 elections approach. The PDP Governors Forum meeting held in Ibadan, Oyo State, was attended by key governors, including Bala Muhammad of Bauchi, who, by the way, is the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Peter Amba of Enugu, Abu Kefas of Taraba, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara, Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, that's the host governor, Caleb Muftuan of Plateau State, Omaru Finturi of Adamawa State, Adeleke of Osun State, and Doye Diri of Bayelsa State. Well, Governors Sheriff Omoboriwe of Delta and Omo Eno of Akwa Ibom were represented by their deputies. In a communique read by the governor of Bauchi State and the forum's chairman, Bala Muhammad, the forum noted the nationwide speculations about possible mergers of parties, groups, and or associations, and resolved that the forum will not join any coalition or merger. Equally, the forum emphasized that the PDP, as a major opposition party, welcomes any parties, persons, or groups that are willing to join the party with a view to wresting power and enthroning good leadership in 2027. Governors reiterated regarding the party's national secretary, stating the forum reiterates its position taken in Asaba regarding the national secretary of the party. They recommended that the deputy secretary temporarily act as national secretary, pending the nomination of a substantive secretary from the Southeast Zone at its next meeting. The communique also expressed solidarity with the suspended governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, stating, "We restate our commitment to stand with him until the end amid the challenges posed by the declaration of a state of emergency in his state." Addressing the worsening security situation in the country, particularly in Borno, Katsina, and Edo states, the forum expressed alarm, stating, "The forum finds it alarming regarding the worsening security situation in the country." Oh, well, still on politics. Last week, the Nigerian Bar Association relocated its 2025 annual general conference venue from Port Harcourt in Rivers State to Enugu in Enugu State in protest of the federal government's imposition of emergency rule in Rivers State. Well, this move has sparked tension between the NBA and Rivers State government. Reacting to the development, Rivers State Administrator Ibas has demanded a refund of 300 million naira the state government, under suspended Governor Sim Fubara, had previously paid to the NBA for hosting rights. Ibas, through his spokesperson, Hector Ibikowobu, expressed disappointment that the NBA, while asserting its stance on principle, failed to acknowledge or initiate a refund of the funds received. The NBA has been vocal in its criticism of President Bola Tinubu's emergency declaration in Rivers State, which included suspending all elected officials, including Governor Sim Fubara. The association accused the president of violating Section 305 of the Nigerian Constitution, stating he lacked power to remove a sitting governor. Now, according to the NBA, continuing with the conference in Port Harcourt will have amounted to legitimizing what it described as an unconstitutional takeover. The state is currently under the control of a retired military officer acting as a sole administrator, disregarding constitutional provisions and the rule of law, the NBA said. In response, Mr. Ibas called on the NBA to return the 300 million naira if it wishes to maintain moral authority. If the NBA truly stands on principle, it should also demonstrate integrity by refunding the funds it now deems tainted, he stated. A lawyer familiar with the matter confirmed that the NBA received the funds but insisted it was not a contractual condition for hosting the conference. The lawyer, speaking anonymously, said other states have made similar financial contributions to NBA events without being hosts. He also pointed out that the NBA has already incurred losses due to the cancellation, including conference materials branded for Rivers 2025. Meanwhile, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, whose ongoing feud with Governor Fubara is believed to have contributed to the crisis, suggested the NBA's protest was politically motivated because of the hosting rights. Nevertheless, the NBA has reiterated its decision was based on principle, not politics, emphasizing that holding the conference in Rivers will tantamount to endorsing undemocratic actions. Beyond the NBA, several Nigerians, including human rights lawyer Inebehe Effiong, Albinism Foundation founder Jack Pele, and former Rivers Governor Ada George have condemned President Tinubu's emergency declaration. They argue it violates democratic norms and effectively removes Governor Fubara from office. Mr. George also criticized Ibas for dissolving institutions and appointing unelected officials across the state's 23 local governments. Now, Comrade Amadin, let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about the PDP. Now, in your calculated opinion, who do you think that the PDP governors are rejecting? Are they rejecting Atiku Abubakar, or are they rejecting the coalition? What's your take on that? Let's have your broad reaction to the rejection of the merger, by PDP governors. They met yesterday somewhere in Ibadan, government house Ibadan, where Sheyi Makinde hosted them. And they said clearly, we are not going to be part of any merger, any coalition. If anybody wants to join PDP, that person is free to do that. And we are rejecting it. So my question is this: are they rejecting Atiku, or are they rejecting the merger? Because Atiku is clearly, the person at the center of driving the merger. What's your reaction, sir?
I do not think their aim was just to reject Atiku, but probably the action of the former Vice President of the Federal Republic has also the fact that he's not a very serious politician that should be taken serious. Now, after the PDP had lost full election under the legacy of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, you will now ask, what reform has he embarked upon to rebirth or renew the party that has lost everything? Nothing. Now, even for Atiku, I've had a rethink of all that had happened, see probably how he can build the party. Instead, he's still taking side and creating more division. The issue of who the national secretary and not the national secretary, and you still see him throwing stones from outside. Just come and you'll be outside and you want to take charge. It's only when there are meetings, the one you feel you can attend, you will majestically walk there with ADCs and plenty aides, our police, and come with a very big vehicle to show off. That is not how you manage party. You must be committed to party. That is why you saw that somebody like Wiki still have a high swage in the party, because across the country, he was helping them to fund the party, and probably still helping them to fund the party. So Atiku, you must know, you was a former vice president. That does not give you the liberty to take charge. More so, or because you think you have money, few weeks to election, you throw money around. No, you must act accordingly, either as a father or as a leader. And by so doing, the people will queue behind you. You can't just come from me. And on behalf of the party, I am even sure the state chairman of the party, the national working committee of the party, I'm not even aware of what he was doing with his friends. Himself and Obi and some others are good at this level. They are friends, they undermine the party, and they'll be doing things in the name of the party. And in the party, you don't do that, no matter how powerful you are. You were just a candidate and you are subject to the party, and it remains so. Even when you are a president or a governor, the party must still be carried along to a very manageable level. Not that you just are jumping from meeting to meeting in the name of coalition. At what time did PDP National Working Committee or NEC sits or at the level of Comrade
Amadi, let's be very clear on this. In all that Atiku has said, I have not heard him say, I'm taking the PDP coalition. So do you think that he's speaking for himself or that he's speaking for the PDP?
That moment.
Comrade, can you hear me?
Hello, sorry, wait.
No, my point is this. In all that Atiku has said, in everything he has done about the coalition, I have not heard him say, look, I'm speaking on behalf of the PDP. I'm taking the PDP to the mega party. So is he speaking for, I think that he's clearly speaking for himself. Maybe because he is a figure, because he's a figure in the PDP, do you think that the governors are clearly scared that Atiku might want to drag the PDP into that coalition. So that is my question. Do you think that the PDP governors are clearly against the coalition, or that they are against Atiku as a person?
That is what I am saying. Atiku, at this point, we will say he's talking for himself, but he's using the umbrella, as it were, being the former or being the candidate of the party.
Exactly my point. He has never said, he has never mentioned PDP in the major talks.
He wouldn't mention PDP because he's never ready to build anything that will grow and he will then be in charge. He will not mention PDP, but he is parading under the auspices of PDP. He told the whole world that he is in PDP, he is not remaining in PDP, he is the immediate candidate of the PDP. That means action is trying to take. That I'm sure that is what someone like Bala Mohammed, who is the PDP Governors Forum, had to quickly carry his brothers and friends along to send that position, because that one too is interested in becoming the president of the Federal Republic. Too, you know himself, and people like Sheyi Makinde has never been the same camp, and have never been friends. So even with the numbers of the governor of PDP today, even his own states, Adamawa, where he come from, I can tell you the governor is not with Atiku. They are not in consonant. So Atiku is just one man, I think, has actually brought a lot of setback to PDP, as it were. Because
okay. So clearly, in your opinion, the PDP governors might not actually be against the coalition, but they are against Atiku Abubakar, flying the coop, but pushing the PDP into a coalition. Now, let me ask you, would there have been a difference if it was driven by probably somebody like Nyesom Wike? Let's just assume that tomorrow Nyesom Wike comes up to say, look, I'm done with this government. Let's get into a merger or a coalition with either other interests, other opposition members, probably Labour Party, NMPP, SDP. Do you think that the governors will maintain this position?
It will be a serious business. If Wike decides to create a coalition or join for a coalition, people will see it as a serious business, because Wike is always serious anything he's doing. Wike is a serious-minded person whenever he chooses to embark on a trip, not until he gets result or maximum result. Even if he doesn't win, but at least you will appreciate the fact that somebody had fought. You can see the last primary they did, just to tell you that he holds switch. Even with all the gang up of diamond between Tambuwa and Atiku and some other northern elites, yet Wike could gather that number he got at the delegates primaries that he did. So that is to tell you he's a serious person. And I can bet you till tomorrow, Wike still have 75% structure, even in that PDP that he's a member of.
Comrade, despite comrade.
So if Wike today is in coalition, half of PDP, or if not 70%, they will go with him wherever he's going to.
Comrade, you seem to give much credibility to Wike. Despite all that you think that Wike did, despite having the PDP in his pocket, he lost the presidential primaries to an Atiku Abubakar. So what gives you the impression that the governors will run along with him if you were the one driving this process?
That was why I said at that primary, we all knew what happened. And what happened was an aberration. For Tambuwa to have come up at that dying point and asked the Northern delegate that they must, from his squad, to vote for Atiku. If it was something that was preempted, you can assure me that Wike would have been ahead. He would have gone and used the structure, but probably Wike calculation was division. This one will take this number, this one will take this number, plus and minus. You can see the number he came with. So I wouldn't say us, but even if we agree that he agreed to that primary that he went the way he went, Wike gave a very good fight. And
all right, comrade, thank you very much. We've been joined by Barrister Asim from Port Harcourt. Good evening to you, Barrister Asim Adams.
How you doing, Mr. Okoro?
Very well, very well. Good to hear your voice once again. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Where I am is a little bit dark.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I can get your audio feed. So what we just need to do is to get your point.
Where are we headed?
Okay, now we are discussing the rejection of the coalition. The PDP governors met yesterday in Ibadan. They were hosted by Governor Sheyi Makinde, and they were very, very clear in saying, look, we go nowhere as far as coalition is concerned. Anybody that wants to come to us is free. Our doors are open. And now the question will be, do you think clearly, like I was speaking with the girls who joined from Benin City in Edo State, do you think that the governors are clearly against the coalition or against an Atiku Abubakar that is driving the process? What's your quick take on that?
My take on this is any disturbance or Nigeria's political landscape on a daily basis. And the governors, I believe, are very right when they say they are against the coalition of political parties coming together and jettisoning PDP. PDP is a strong party. PDP is a party that if they reorganize themselves and rejig themselves, that they can win back the position they lost to APC in 2015. And there's no need for them to even say they want to do what? Enter into a coalition. So I support the governors, whatever they are doing.
Okay.
As the case may be.
All right.
Because, ambition, cerebral ambition, want to kind of jump out the space, desperate ambition that is trying to, cascade all over the landscape. He does not need to push them further than what they have agreed. So I am in total support of what the PDP governors have said, that they don't even need a coalition for them to remove the APC government in power right now. Because Nigerians are vexed in their souls and conscience and want to take out APC. So what kind of coalition are you looking for? PDP is a very strong party.
Okay. Now, Barrister Asim, let me stay with you. Now, this rejection of the merger, does this signify a bold confidence or an unmeasured arrogance on the part of PDP governors or on the part of PDP? And if it is confidence, where is it coming from? Even when the PDP cannot provide a viral opposition to the ruling party. I mean, a member of the PDP who happens to be a staunch supporter of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, talking about Dele Momodu, has claimed that the PDP governors are working for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Could there be an iota of truth in this allegation, especially given the rejection of the coalition? Now, does PDP refusal to align with other opposition forces signal a hidden agenda to collaborate with the ruling APC in 2027 rather than truly challenge it? Where is this confidence of the PDP coming from when they cannot stand as an effective opposition to this government? They have 11 governors. APC has about 21. So if they are rejecting a coalition, what gives them that impression that they can take Tinubu out of office? Don't you think there's some kind of a measured arrogance on the part of PDP?
What the PDP should do is to sanitize their house. There are members of the PDP who are agents of the ruling party. Yes, I agree. There are also people who are there that are toxic in the PDP. I agree. But if they come together and sanitize their house, either by expelling those members that have become anathema to the constitution of PDP, PDP can gain some weight and ground and support. PDP is an established political party. They might not be strong in opposition right now, but establishment-wise, they have them. Their supporters are waiting for them all over the country to lash in on what is going on with the APC government and to reclaim their power back in 2027. The only thing they need to do is to sanitize their house. And that is the biggest problem they have. But whether PDP can win, presidential election in Nigeria here, I believe they can do that. If only they can sanitize, their house in-house. That is the biggest problem they are having right now. And once that is done, I don't think there's any problem, regaining power from APC, back in 2027.
Okay, now let's go back to Comrade Collins Amarin. Comrade, let's remove the PDP governors from the equation. Do you think that the average Nigerian will support a coalition that brings together actors who have been part of the PDP, APC, SC, and APP at one time and contributed to the mess that Nigeria has become? Have they changed suddenly? Have they learned their lessons, or are they looking for power for the sake of power? Do you think that Nigerians will listen to an Atiku Abubakar, an El Rufai, a Rotimi Amechi, a Kayode Fayemi? I mean, all sorts of people that are congregating, people who have been part of what this country has become in the past 25 years. I mean, all of them have crisscrossed like a zigzag movement from APC to PDP, from PDP back to APC, and from APC back to from Labour to ABGA, from ABGA labor and all of that, do you think that if you, let's take away the governors, PDP governors, do you think that Nigerians will warm up to this coalition? Do you think that Nigerians will embrace this coalition? Given the fact that it is the same actors, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
You have invariably answered the question. The same faces, the same trace, the same attitude over the time. You will not only respond to issues not until it's close to an election. Because you have seen them and finish. You can just wake up and tell Nigerians you are creating a coalition tomorrow, come and you distribute money. Okay, now imagine somebody like N300M pushing for a coalition. Of the coalition he has created, his action pours towards peace and unity for this country. Is he an extremist? Now you will ask yourself, all the time he has even ruled as a governor that he was, even as a minister. What can we about his style of governance? Do you have what it takes? Do you have empirical evidence to show to Nigerians that this is follow you? Or is he Atiku Abubakar who every season he must change the party? For him, he knows that PDP is finished. So the coalition Atiku is even working towards right now is how they can get, maybe they are fused into SDP, N300M and others agree with him, you know, to see how they can make him a presidential candidate. If he's not working, he will excuse himself because he will not fund it, because he feels this is the last chance he probably have, or to his age, you know, to contest. Or are you not talking about Brother Obi? Brother Obi has no interest in governance, apart from wanting to make money at the season. Now you make Labour Party, you finish Labour Party. You went to PDP, you finish Labour Party. You went to ABGA, you finish ABGA leadership. You are known for wanting to be on top, and you don't want people to give you advice. So you cannot, those are not people that can never be taken serious. Now let's check the trajectories of their lifestyle. You can't always lead all the time. Sometimes you lead people, sometimes you allow people to still lead you. Obi will never do a coalition with anybody where he will not be a candidate. He can subject himself to Atiku because he has so much money from Atiku. Probably they have some lot of business.
Okay, comrade, in all that you have said, do you have any evidence to show that Obi collected money from Atiku Abubakar? Obi was governor for 8 years. EFCC has investigated him, they found nothing. ICPC has investigated him, they found nothing. Obi doesn't have a single case in court. So what gives you the impression that he is after money? Is there any particular thing that you can point to, any allegation that you can point to that has caught Obi in the web of financial controversy, in the web of corruption, outside any infraction about his personality as a governor in Anambra State for 8 years, as a businessman for how many years? Do you have any information concerning the fact that Obi is a corrupt individual? Just one. I'd like to know.
Now, from the antidote from Labour Party alone, which is recent, you have heard during their fight where majority of the leadership of Labour Party accused Obi of using the party name to generate so much money, and money that were committed to the party for the presidential election, that Obi converted them to his personal money and refused to give an account himself and Abure. Now that on one hand, Obiano that succeeded in his state in Anambra told the world how Obi demanded for 7 billion that he should give him.
Comrade, do you have the information? Can you defend this information? Do you have evidence? Talking about, I'm not here to defend Obi anyway, but I'd like for you to know that if the Labour Party people are aggrieved, why can't they go to court and seek redress? Have they gone to court to say, look, Peter Obi, you took so amount of money from us. It is theft, it is corruption. Have they done that?
This is why I'm saying you are defending Obi in your own coin, but however, I understand more.
No, I'm just asking questions. I don't have the information that you have, so you can share the information with me. Viewers and people are listening.
I've told you what is in the public. These are things that are in the public.
In the public, they've gone to court. Has anybody taken Obi to court? EFCC is investigating series of governors that served in their state. Some of them are even serving in Senate as we speak. Some of them are ministers undergoing investigation by Nigeria's anti-graft agencies. Has anybody written a petition against Obi, investigated, and that the courts, EFCC is after him. That is the information I'm looking for. I don't have it. Do you have it?
Taking 30 minutes of your time for me. Now, let me also tell you, all these things I have said came as a way of, even that of Obiano was in national dailies, and even as at yesterday, I went through some of those dailies too again. You know,
okay, unfortunately, comrade, I'm sorry, we are on a national television, and I will not allow us, to spew something that we cannot confirm, something that we don't have evidence about. I just asked you questions now. You are telling me about national dailies. I asked you, has anybody taken Obi to court? Is EFCC investigating Obi? Is EFCC taking him to court, ICCC, or any anti-drug agency? You can't provide that information. Now, let's move on to NBA. Barrister Asim Adams, let's look at the altercation between the Nigerian Bar Association and the sole administrator of Rivers State. Well, in the wake of a declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, the NBA, through its president, Afam Anyamosigwe, was very vocal in opposing the state of emergency. And still in the midst of the president's decision, the NBA moved its annual general conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu, based on what it said was a principled stance. In reaction, the sole administrator revealed that the NBA received 300 million naira from the suspended governor for the conference. Meanwhile, the organizers of this conference, this year's AGC, said that they only received 200 million naira from the governor. That is a controversy. How much did they receive? Nobody knows. They said 200. Now the administrator said 300. Now, who do we believe? And on what ground did the NBA receive a whooping 300 million naira from the governor? Because it was going to host the AGC in Port Harcourt. Is this anything different from graft, bribery, or gratification? Barrister Adams, what's your reaction to this?
You see, my own immediate reaction is that the NBA has run foul of its ethics and that particular voted position of a principled association. The question is this. It means that the NBA, for them to organize their conference or confab, they must always go cap in hand to beg for people to support them. The question I've asked is this: why is it that the bad dues that we normally pay, more than 15,000 lawyers pay bad dues? So exactly what are they using that particular money for, as the case may be? These are questions that they need to answer. And I want to say with due respect that I am so disturbed and distracted, that we have this kind of fallacious claims, 200, 300. So who are we to believe in this particular scenario right now? I find it difficult to, postulate. It's a sad commentary. And I think
Oh, okay, unfortunately, we have lost Barrister Asim's connection. Oh, well, Comrade Amadin, I would like for you to chime into this. Like, it's trending now. Ibas says, MBA, return the 300 million naira Fubara paid you if you have moved the conference venue from Port Harcourt to Enugu. And my question would be, I mean, you are not a lawyer, but you might just have an idea. Is there any legal provision that accommodates the collection of such monies without compromising the integrity of the bar? I understand some of these things because my wife is a senior. I know that anytime she attends conference, she pays her fees, conference fees, accommodates herself anytime, and she pays her annual conference to the NBA. What do they do with the money given to them by the state government? And does it look like some form of compromise on the part of NBA to have 300 million naira we are talking about? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, thank you very much. I worked in the court before I resigned and fully joined the life services to people.
Oh, very well then.
Yes. Now you cannot imagine how NBA have reduced themselves, have reduced the bar, has reduced the bench. It's something that is very worrisome, and that is why there is no most times they make that people take serious. Local government, not even councillor, take them serious. Even Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, national as it were, make recommendation to councillor from Ward 8 now in the local government. They will not take it serious because the beggar. How can you be begging in this manner? This is something that is supposed to be hidden. If they had said refund the money, quickly you will refund the money. Because government is a continuity. Right now, seeing Fubara is no longer seen as the governor. An administrator is there. Or even if he spends 1 month there, anything and the National Assembly approves, who are assisting in the legislative of River State, you will do just that. You cannot collect 300 million, yet people are paid dues annually. What are you doing with their money? Are you building roads? No. Today, Obaseki left Edo State government avoiding 14 members of this sworn in. NBA did not make recommendation, even with all the interviews in this world, that people like us granted an appeal to Nigerian Bar Association to speak, to say something. They were mute. Probably Governor Obaseki governor must have also given them 500 conference that they had. Why will you not expect them to be in solidarity with Fubara, but when Fubara denied the House of Assembly of their legislative rights and privileges, NBA did not speak. That a part of democracy was being hurt. Today you are saying the president committed illegality. You can see nobody will ever take you serious. I wish I was the president of NBA. I would resign forthwith. And the critical committee will also be sent there. If they don't mind, we can send an administrator there. These are issues. How can you collect from Abuja, you collect from Lagos, you collect from
all right, comrade. The issue is, there's a bigger issue in all of this. Now, the bigger issue is that the organizers of this year's annual general conference, as they call it, AGC, are claiming that they declared 200 million naira. Meanwhile, the sole administrator came out to say, you were paid 300 million naira. So who do you think we should believe in this case?
The government may have approved 100 million. The person that the governor asked to go and give them, they will dash that one 20 million. The people who came on behalf of the NBA to company will use 200, maybe 50 million to enter from River State to Abuja. So, and at the end of the day, they never saw this day coming because the administrator and his team cannot just say 300 million. What was in the paper is not 300. Or maybe the governor also gave them 200 million and gave his former girlfriend or his girlfriend the remaining 100 million. But put it there that we gave NBA 300 million in case where they want to make records. So that is the reason why more investigation should come in between the Accountant General that released the money for the NBA and the people who came to collect the money. There must be, when you are taking money from government, I have been in government, you must sign at a particular point of how much you are receiving. So there is no way, if there is no agreement to take it 300 million, that the document for dispatch will reflect 300 million. So if it is the former PA or the former governor that stole the remaining 100 million, then EFCC should assist to investigate it so that from henceforth, people will learn to try as much as they can to be transparent. Unfortunately, whether it's 50 million they even took at all, going about begging is not the best for NBA.
Okay. Now, comrade, according to the NBA, the money wasn't paid for hosting rights. Let's be very clear on that. They said we didn't collect this money because we are coming to hold the annual general conference in River State. Before now, governors who were not even parts, who the conference didn't hold in their state, had also donated money to the cause of the NBA. You know, I mean, and it's asking what will happen. NBA is asking what will happen to the costs that we have already incurred, like printed materials which you have branded Rivers 2025. Should the NBA refund River State the 300 million naira when it made a principled stand to boycott a venue now governed by unconstitutional means? I want us to look at it in this angle. Now, NBA has taken a position and said, look, we cannot hold the annual general conference of Nigerian Bar Association, the largest gathering, the biggest gathering of legal minds in Nigeria, we cannot take our conference to a state where there is martial law in the midst of a democracy, which they said is a principled decision, and now they need to boycott. And they said, we have already printed material, all of that. In the light of all this, do you think that NBA has breached any agreement with the Rivers State government? And should they refund the money? Should they refund the money?
Agreement is agreement. The agreement that NBA had was not with Fubara.
No.
Was with Rivers State government.
No, they didn't have any agreement. They didn't have any agreement.
Now,
they didn't have any agreement. They didn't say, we are collecting this money because we are going to hold a conference in Rivers State. It was a donation, like I said, like they said, that governors who didn't even host the conference in their state had previously also donated money to the cause of the NBA. So I'm asking, if they didn't collect the money solely because they were hosting the conference in Port Harcourt,
good.
Have they breached any agreement? And should they refund the money?
The money they donated, was it up to 300 million? You cannot just tell me you want to do a party and I'll give you 300 million. They gave them that 300 million to making sure they had a successful conference. They will build hotels for delegates. Do this, they will do that. Just as a way of encouraging them. Now it's simple. Say you will host in Rivers State. And during your hosting, some of our economic system will get its boosts. Hotel, hospitality will make more money. Government will collect tax from there. Government coffers will also rise as a way of return for 300 million. Now, you now say you are no more coming. That means the government itself gave that patronage because you were coming to our place. Now that you are not coming, you give us our money. If you are not giving us our money, you will also come to do your program. Now, let me tell you, sin is there or not there. They are not the one to say whether it's them on whether the place is governed by democratic or not democratic. It is led by the apex court to finally decide. Now that some people have gone to high court or to one court, they are not helping sin, because when they finish from this one, appeal court will take charge. At the time appeal court will have done maybe 2 months, then Supreme Court will start looking into it. Maybe Supreme Court will spend another 4-5 months. And at the end, sin will be home for 2 years. Because it's already a case in court. So even that 6 months that the president said, another file and charges will come. And say a case that is already in court, not that the court give its jurisdiction or advocate, you cannot do otherwise. Sin, you cannot go there. The other party will say, we are already in court. So this political solution will not even work. Because those that went to court have not done sin at all. Now let me tell you, NBA, if they like, let them go to court on their own as a party to a sin. That means they already have taken position. Now that is why it's the same bar that they are managing, that the case are before now. Let the Supreme Court give the final, whatever the Supreme Court say, even if it's not in the law, if it's pronouncement from them, it becomes a law and will be gazetted. Now let them not worry themselves. The most important thing now, if you cannot host in Rivers State, refund Rivers State's money to them.
Okay, now, comrade, let's simulate a situation now. What would have been your reaction if the NBA had clearly supported a declaration of the state of emergency? What would be your reaction to all of that?
First, I would not even expect them to start supporting or not supporting. But however, even if they support owing to the tension that was rising from River, for everybody that was concerned, we were concerned about the tension that was on the river. When the government will come to public and say the red barrel is mine, I will choose who get what, I will choose who not get what. As if he was the one who was INEC that declared those legislature. How can you come in public and say you own River? Anybody come to River State, you will do this, you will do that. You went to the legislative quarter, you asked them to start demolishing in your presence, and you start awarding. Who give you that sole right? Is that not worse than a dictator? Can administrator even do that? Even the administrator they even have there now, which is Mr. Ibas. Let me call him Mr. because he's retired. Now, at the end of the day, is he not even relating with those people in governance? He's trying to drag government close to the people. You have a game as a way of no matter your feelings. You put yourself on camera, you pack people, your people are shouting, Sawara, Sawara. You are supposed to be a peaceful man. You are supposed to bring about peace. Even when the other parties have something at stake that they feel they have been demoralized, you will call. You use one hand to beat your child, you use the other one to draw your child back. Is it not even shameful as a governor? For almost 1 year, you couldn't win the member of your House of Assembly around you. It's got to show that you have capacity. So knowing fully well that you didn't have capacity, you
Unbiased reportage of
because one thing I must talk about Liverpool now is the fact
you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens